Hello and welcome to the Women's Cricket Watchalong. My name is Melissa Kay and I am a huge cricket fan. My background is in sports coaching, specifically cricket coaching. I'm an ECB coach developer and I'm also a qualified umpire. But I've decided to create this channel to have a bit of a watch along and give you some insights into what's going on with the game. And today we are going to be watching the ICC Women's World Cup first fixture, which is England versus Sri Lanka at Edgbaston in Birmingham. So, really great venue. I've been there many times, and the atmosphere will be fantastic. And I'm sure the Sri Lankan fans will have a fantastic time going to Edgbaston. They really do look after you there. So, in terms of the toss, Sri Lanka won the toss and decided to field first. So, in terms of the lineups, I can't say that there's anything that's a bit different in terms of what's been going on in terms of the England selection. So, just to let you know, Danny Wyatt Hodge is going to open the batting with Amy Jones. We've then got Nat Siver being captain. She's back in action, probably just as a batter rather than bowling for this tournament, but it's great to see her back in an England shirt. We've then got Alice Capsey, who's bringing some form back into her game, and hopefully she can create some exciting moments and some match-winning performance from an England perspective. We've then got Heather Knight, and it's great to see Heather back in the runs. She's struggled the last few weeks, but class players always come good when needed, and hopefully she's going to provide those really important runs in the middle section of the batting order. We've then got Freya Kemp, who hit some glorious shots a few games ago and really showed her power, and her power hitting is going to be really important today, especially being a left-hander. We need a few more left-handers if you're watching here. So if you're left-handed and you're watching, good news for you. We really want some more left-handers coming through. We've then got Danny Gibson, who gives that all-rounder perspective, just like Freya Kemp in terms of her bowling and her batting. Probably just a bit below Kemp in terms of the batting lineup, just because Kemp's been scoring better. But hopefully Danny will be able to contribute. And then we've got Charlie Dean, who has been captain in England while Nat Siver has been off injured, and she's done a great job. But she obviously is her spin all-rounder. We've then got Eccleston coming in at 9. Obviously, she is one of the best T20 female players in the game. And then we've got Lindsay Smith, who is a spin bowler, and will obviously open with Lauren Bell. Both of those ladies have been performing really well as an opening pair. And obviously, it's going to be really important for them to take those wickets in the second half of the game. So we've got a really good start. Sri Lanka are going to really try and squeeze the pressure using their spin options. They've got some fantastic players and a bit more depth now in terms of their batting. But in terms of their actual spin, I do expect Sri Lanka to try and squeeze England, even in the power play, to try and stop England getting a good total. I would expect England to try and reach at least 160, to even maybe push to 180 to set that target, because, Sri Lanka's captain has, let's just say she's definitely got runs in her. And if she stays in, Sri Lanka have got a chance. So, yeah, it's going to be a fantastic game, and don't expect this to be an easy game for England. Sri Lanka have got some really dangerous players, and I would expect them to really try and keep it as tight as possible. So Edgbaston, Danny Wyatt is now headed towards the middle with Amy, and they're just pumping gloves, ready to get to the crease. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Mel, and please tell me where you are in the world, where you're watching from, and who you are supporting. If you've got any questions, please put them in the chat box. I am more than happy, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. if I can't answer it, I will then go away and find out, because that's what happens. So, yeah, so Amy Jones and Danny are going to be opening for England. And looking at the crowd, really good start. Really, really great to see that people of Birmingham and elsewhere have decided to come and show up to the first match at the World Cup. And Amy Jones is going to be facing the first ball. And it's been good for her the last few matches. Probably really big shoes to step into in terms of Sarah Taylor when she retired. But Amy Jones has been the best keeper in England now, and has been basically the only pick. So hopefully Amy will have a good game from an England point of view. Obviously, I am English, so we're going to have a little bit of bias coming on. I can't deny that I do want England to win. But obviously, Sri Lanka have got a really, really positive team and want to win, and they've got some great players. So, yeah, let's see how we get along and come and join in and see where we're up to. So, we're going to start off very, very shortly. Let's see who we've got. Yep, perfect. So we're just waiting for the sight screen to be put in the correct place, because basically we need it to be behind the bowler's arm so that the batter can see the ball and that there's no distraction. So the batter can ask the grounds team to move it so that it's easier for them to be able to see the ball. So in this instance, the sight screen will be black because the ball being used is white. You may find in other competitions around the world, whether that's domestic, they actually use a pink ball for T20 cricket. But in this instance, because it's a World Cup, we are using a white ball. So they're just deciding to sort themselves out with that. So perfect. Right then, looks like we're ready to start the first ball. We'll get there. So just well, we were going to start the first ball, but it looks like we're still not happy. The umpires are still not happy with what's going on with the sight screen. So the umpire is now speaking on the radio to try and see if they can move it so it makes it easier to see the ball. Ah, okay. So it's the glass that has not been covered properly by the black sight screen. So this is a little bit embarrassing actually, because surely someone should have checked this. So obviously in cricket around the world, if you were outside, not an international, you would just generally have buildings or green fields around you. But obviously in this instance, we're in a stadium, and have covered some of it behind the bowler in black, but they haven't covered all of the window in black, and it's in directly the sight line of Amy Jones, who is the right-handed batter. So they just need to move the sight screen black cover further across. And now we've got the third umpire. Oh, and now we've got the security guard to be moved because he's wearing a fluorescent jacket behind the bowler's arm. So Just to let you know, in this group, Ireland, New Zealand, Scotland, and West Indies are future fixtures for England in Group B. And in Group A, there's Australia, Bangladesh, India, the Netherlands, Pakistan, and South Africa. So tomorrow, I'm actually going to be lucky enough to watch Ireland versus Scotland and Australia versus South Africa, which is going to be at Emirates Old Trafford, which is Saturday, the 13th of June, with Ireland, Scotland starting at 10:30, and then Australia, South Africa starting at 2:30. So finally, we're going to have the first ball of the match by Malacca, and Amy Jones has just passed it through straight to the fielder for no run. So Malky is a seam bowler, and she's going to try and make it a little bit wider for Amy Jones to tempt her. But in terms of the power play, there can only be two players outside of the circle. So you'll see on the floor there's some white markers 25 metres out, and only two players are allowed outside of that circle. And there's just a single there by Amy Jones. Bit dramatic. There wasn't really a chance of a run out. It was lots of time for Amy to run. She's quite quick across the wicket. Direct hit, she still would have been in. So no drama for England. Good shout by Danny Hodge in terms of that single. So England are 1-0 off 2 balls. So Danny Wyatt Hodge is now on strike. Danny's had some great knocks since she's been back, and it'll be great for Danny to set a really good tone for the rest of the tournament. And we've now just got a leg by. And just the one. So 2 for none off 3. So in terms of the bowler, what she's trying to do, she's really trying to cramp Danny into playing a middle and leg. So a bit fuller, so more towards her feet. So Danny may decide just to move her feet a little bit, but we'll see after this next ball. Yeah, so Danny's just flicked it over the top of the fielder into the top. Yep, just for a single. Didn't really get all of a bat on it, but it was a good flick off her pads over the top of the inner ring into the space just for the one. And she's come back for the second. So we're now on 4 for none off 4. Again, aiming a bit more to the feet again on middle and leg. And that's been flicked away again for a single. So Sri Lanka trying to cramp up the England openers. Little bit of a cutter there, actually, just looking at the hand position of the bowler. But definitely aiming for that middle and that leg. Last ball of the over. England are 5 for none off 5 balls. Another attempted Yorker there. England are going to push for no, we're going to look for 2, but a good decision by Danny to send Amy back just for the 1. So Sri Lanka have managed to keep England down for 6 for none off 1 over. So those of you who are new to the game, an over is 6 good deliveries. If one of those deliveries is not good, so the umpire signals a wide or a no ball, then the bowler will have to bowl it again. And that keeps going until there are 6 good balls that have been bowled. So good start there by Sri Lanka. Just going to move my mic a little bit. Needed a brew. Needed a brew. So Mathali's now coming in. So again, really experienced player coming in. And it's going to be her first over. We're going to just have a watch to see what her plan is. I would expect something very similar in terms of aiming a little bit fuller towards the feet, middle and off towards Danny. But we'll see how she gets on with the first ball. Oh, okay. So we've got a little bit of swing going on there and tempted Danny with the shot, but playing a miss, and it's gone through to the keeper. Um, she's got a really slingy action, a bit like Malinga. But her body, the top half of her body is actually a little bit lower, and her arm comes really out to the side. Danny's played the shot and it's come on the inside of a bat, missed the stumps, and England have got a 1 off that. So good call for the run. But her action is definitely tempting Danny to try and play on the offside. So where the right hand, she's right-handed batter, so on the right side of Danny and a little bit wider. So she's trying to get her to do some cuts, so playing square of the wicket. So yeah, so interesting to see what the umpires are happy with this or not. And that is a wide. Jacqueline Wilson from West Indies, the umpire, giving in that. No doubt about that one. Yep, so nice and tall at the crease, but as soon as she steps onto her bound, her arm and her whip, very, very unique. Lovely shot there by Danny into the deep, but it's only gone for a 1. Yep, so that's 9 for none. So Danny needs 10 runs to reach 500 runs for international T20 cricket. Alice Capser needs 44 to get 1,000 runs. So a couple of milestones if needed coming up. 3 balls left of the over due to the wide. So yeah, Sri Lanka are really wanting to tempt Amy Jones here into playing behind square. So if you look at 90 degrees, looking behind into that gap there where third man would be. Oh, it's not third man, third person, thirds. The security is now moving the activator because he's got a bright pink top on and he's in the way. Oh dear, oh dear. Not a great start, Tristan. Lovely ground. 3 balls to go. Okay, safe, just about safe. So a really tempting ball, wide, not a wide by the umpire, but in terms of wide ball. And Danny's managed to get an edge on it. It's gone over the top of the circle into the space, away from the fielder, and that's been slapped for 4. Yeah, we're saying it was just she's tempting, and Danny's actually managed to get under it to get over, so the ball goes over the top of the fielders and into the gap, so it is safe and has raced to the boundary for 4. Bit straighter that time. Danny's cut it at a 90 degree, and obviously deep point has then thrown it back in. So England have managed to get a single off that. So at the moment we're about 7 and over. In the power play, we're hoping for more that 10 to 12, just to try and increase the run rate, which may be needed, and obviously it just sets the tone. Last ball of the over, and Danny's hit it straight to the fielder, but they fumbled it, and they've managed to get a single off that last ball of the over. So, bit costly that over, 8 runs from a Sri Lankan point of view. But England ticking along, 15 for none for 2 in the power play. There's still 4 overs left in the power play, so that means 2 fielders have to be on the outside of the circle. Everybody has to be on the inside. So, in terms of cricket, you want to get the players, if possible, to hit over the top or past the inner ring to try and get those 4s and 6s. So, this is why you need strong power hitters. Obviously, the likes of Laura Woolvart, Deandra Dottin, Sophie Devine, those type of players are always at the top of the order because they're there to exploit the power play. So we've got new bowler and we're off to spin. Gonna do a little bit of off spin, and that's been punched down to long on for a single. So Desanyaka has played 95 matches and taken 70 wickets. She's had 6 3-wicket hauls in her time. So definitely an experienced player that Sri Lanka are going to lean on today. She's coming in for a second ball of the over. Loose one, really, down the leg, towards leg, but Danny's missed out on that opportunity there. Just hit it and it went straight to the leg side. Okay. Oh, great shot there by Danny. Really used her feet well to attack the ball, to get her feet to the ball, to get over the top. So the ball has now gone over the top of the fielders. Unfortunately for Danny, the ball has just been a bit short of the boundary, so they've ran a 3. Don't really get many 3s, to be honest. But they've ran hard. Sri Lanka did well to work together there to stop the 4. But good teamwork there by Sri Lanka. But good running by England. Could have been a 2, but they pushed hard for a 3. And Amy Jones is now on strike. So, yep, just for a single there. Oh no, they're gone for a 2. They're gone for a 2. Just a better throw would have helped there. So, good shot selection there by Jones. She's pushed it into the gap and realised that the fielder is not going to get there quick enough, and they've backed themselves for the 2. So, really good in terms of that running between the wickets. Again, definitely aiming towards that leg stump in terms of the spin, and Amy has just rotated that for a 1. Again, really good working together here by Danny and Amy. They're on 10 runs each. So Danny's on 10 off 8 and Amy Jones is 10 off 9. Last ball of the over. And that's just been flicked away to mid-on for a single. And England are 23 for none off 3 overs. So, again, just above that 7 and over rate. So it'd be really good to see if England can just maybe target maybe even over 5 and over 6 in terms of maybe trying to get 1 or 2 more 4s or even a 6 just to try and really set that platform in terms of the power play. So we've now got the captain who has now come on to bowl. So she's played 158 matches with 71 wickets. She's going to be doing some spin. Let's see how she gets on. So Danny's now facing. So the off spin is good flight, not much movement. quite straight, and England have taken the one. Next ball in. Again, Danny's good use of the feet there to try and be able to do a pull shot towards the boundary, but there is somebody there to stop the four, and England have only just got the single in that respect. Good use of the feet, Danny, trying to give herself some space by moving her back leg across and back, and then her left foot open. Third ball, it's nice little tip and run. Don't get to see much of that in T20 or one day one day cricket, but really nice shot there by Danny. Just knowing that she couldn't get a boundary, put it into a space, made the ball stop dead, so they could get a single. And Amy has now been on strike for a single. Amy Jones loves playing on the leg side. So anything that is straight or on leg, she's going to go for it. So if Sri Lanka have been doing their homework, they need to get it more on that off stump. Okay. So Danny has got a single. So Sri Lanka are doing really well to keep England down here. Danny likes playing on the offside, so putting it on that middle and leg stump's actually not a bad idea for Sri Lanka. Last ball of the over. Oh, that has gone. That has gone. Oh, that should have been caught. So there was somebody on the boundary, and they've either misseen it, they've lost it, and they're just checking to see whether this is a 4 or a 6. I have a feeling this is gonna be a 6. Yeah. Oh, it's gone for a 4. They've just double checked. It has gone for a 4. But that right idea by Amy Jones. She got her feet in a really good position, strong, stable base. Her bat was going obviously low to high to try and get enough height on it, but it picked out the fielder, but the fielder only went one hand with it instead of two. And it's bounced and then hit the rope. So a let off for England, because if that would have been caught, Amy Jones would have been out. So England are 32 for none off 4. Oh, that is not the best place to put it for Danny, because she's now hit it over the top of the fielders, one bounce and to the boundary. So great shot there by Danny. Got under the ball, really good use of the hands, hand movement in terms of the speed to get under it, slapped it through the gap, and has gone straight to the boundary. Now, there was a fielder out there 2 overs ago to stop that, but they've brought that fielder in. I have a feeling they're going to be moving that fielder back out again, because that's Danny's favourite place to hit. So England are 36 for none of 4.1 overs. They've not moved her back, so still strong on the offside. And she's cut through 2 fielders in the gap, and that's raced for 4. Lovely back foot shot there by Danny. She's such a strong offside player. And even though there's 5 on the offside trying to stop her from scoring, she manages to find the gap in between 2 fielders, between slip and point, and that has raced to the boundary. These are the runs that I was talking about. These are the 4s that England need to try and see if we can get to that 60 plus in that power play. Third ball. Danny's just come down the pitch a little bit to try and pull it in front of square, towards that cow corner area, but just has got a single off that. So we're going to run in. Now, Amy didn't get all of that, and it was a little bit short of the fielder in terms of being on mid-on, but again, just a single. And England are ticking along here, 4-2 for none off 4.4. So Danny's back on strike. Sri Lanka really needs to put this towards her legs, middle and leg stump. Ball comes in and it's on fifth stump, and she's got away with it. Danny did not time that very well and has just gone straight to the fielder. So a bit of a let off there by England, because that was definitely there to be cut, and I think Danny's realised that. So last ball of the over, so the end of the fifth. Bowls in, and that's wide, too wide, over the fielder, and that has raced to the boundary for 4. You cannot put it there for Danny. That is her bread and butter. That is what she wants you to do. She's just got under the ball, really good, back and across, and managed to hit the ball on the up, which then means that it's gone over the top of the fielder in the gap and has gone for a 4. And that has been an expensive over for Sri Lanka. So England are on 46 for none off 5 overs. So England have had 5 4s, no 6s. Jones is on 17 off 13, and Danny's on 27 off 17. So Jones is on strike. So this is where Sri Lanka should be trying to get Amy Jones to either make a play on the off because she's not strong on that side, or if they are going to aim for leg stump, set the trap like earlier and try and catch her out. So this will be interesting to see what happens. Just run in. Oh, such a slingy action. It's very, very rare these days you get players with that action. Really, really head low, arm out. And that has gone for no run. So, oh, in between 2 fielders, and it was up in the air. England have managed to run for 2, so good running, but Amy was a little bit cramped up there in terms of that shot, and it was popping up, and really unlucky in terms of fielding because the fielder would have been probably 2 yards to the left, would have been a catching opportunity, but England are safe, so Jones is still on strike. Third ball. Oh, good ball to recover. Really good ball. Definitely sort of more of a Yorker on off stump. And Amy has hit it to leg side for no run. So good comeback. Good comeback in terms of that ball. Let's see what she's going to come up with next. So she's bowled it and straight to the fielder at mid off for no run. So that's exactly where Sri Lanka needs to play it to Amy Jones, because she really struggles to be able to score on that that offside. Sorry. So next ball, misfield by Sri Lanka, and England are gonna take the 1. Couple of misfields by Sri Lanka. Obviously, it is a little bit windy, a little bit bumpy, but these 1 or 2 all add up. So I would probably reckon, I would say 6 to 7 runs have been preventable. So just something that they would probably need to think forwards. So last ball of the over. England are on 49 for none. And that is going to be a wide. Don't think Jacqueline is going to have any difficulty giving that one as umpire because it was very wide. And England are now up to 50 off 37 balls. So there's still one ball left of the over due to the wide. So Mathali's running in. And oh, good running by England. But if that was a direct throw, I think that would have still been out. Good dive by Amy just to double check, double sure to make sure she was definitely in the crease. But I want to see this back because that looked a little bit close for comfort. So she's ran. Oh, yeah, yeah. So the fielder's hands on head moment realizes if that would have been a direct hit, that probably would have been out. So that's the end of the power play. England ticking along nicely. Sri Lanka giving them a couple of runs as gifts, but some really good actual balls in there by Sri Lanka. It's just that consistency. And I think for any team, the best teams are the ones that are able to be consistent and be able to perform on a consistent basis. So, you do 5 good balls and then you give away a 4 and a 6. Well, all that hard work sometimes goes out the window. So, definitely say that England have started well. But obviously, Jones did get dropped on the boundary edge, which would have brought in that a bit sooner than that would have probably wanted. But England have managed to get to 6 overs without loss. So good start by England there. So just checking some of the stats. Yeah, Amy Jones has scored 20 off 18 and Danny scored 28 off 18. So Amy's strike rate at the minute is 111, with Danny's being 155. So obviously, strike rate is based on the number of runs scored to number of balls faced. So if you scored 10 runs off 10 balls, your strike rate is going to be 100. If you've scored 20 runs off 10 balls, your strike rate is going to be 200. So good so far in terms of that. So 51 for none off 6. So yeah, so a bit lower than 60, which I was sort of hoping for from an England perspective. But hopefully, England can take on the spinners. I do expect a lot of spin in the next 8 to 12 overs. So we're on 7th over. And that has missed the bat, the wicketkeeper, and the fielder running after it. And that's going to be a wide and a 4. So the ball was launched down quite quickly from the spinner, the leg spinner. But it was really down leg side, and keeper didn't really have any chance of being able to stop that, especially with the Danny trying to hit it. And it's gone to the boundary 4-4. So not a good start in the over. So shot to mid on for a single. which is taken. So England just rotating the strike. So Nat Siver is due to come in at 3, with Alice Capsey at 4 and Heather Knight coming in at 5 if needed. So Amy Jones has a 4. So a little bit too middle and wide, actually. I take that back. It was more towards that off stump, looking at it from the second viewing. And Amy has swept it towards Cow's Corner for 4, in between the two fielders who are desperately scrambling to get there, but we're not going to get there in time. She's so strong playing that sweep shot, Amy Jones. Third ball of the over. Okay, that was a little bit fuller, a little bit faster, and a shot taken by Amy Jones. Just punched straight back at the bowler, past the bowler for a 1. So Danny is now on strike. And she's come down the pitch. Field has done well to stop it going for a 4, and they've managed to cut it down just to a 1. So good stop there in the ring, because otherwise that would have been going for 4. Really, really well timed shot. Got her foot to the ball, but the umpire's now signalled no ball, and it is a free hit. The umpire has done this, which means it's a free hit. So it's a no ball because the bowler has stepped over the front white line. And in women's international T20 cricket, that means that it is a free hit. So they cannot be out unless it is a run out. And the shot's been taken, and it's a 4. Straight over the bowler's head, gone to the boundary for 4 runs. So good use of a free hit that time by England. That looked like, yeah, Amy went really wide because she knew she was going to try and put it there and hit it back where it came. Got nice and low under the ball and used the hand speed really well to get under it with a good follow through. So lovely shot there by Amy. A little bit scoopy that time. Didn't get all of it in terms of the connection with the ball. Let me just watch this again. Yeah, just a little bit later on that one. Still managed to get a run off it, but not the cleanest connection. Last ball of the over. And Danny has lovely time shot, but straight to the fielder for none. So England are now 79 for none off 7. That was a very expensive over. Just tossing it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 runs off that over. And Amy Jones is on 30, and Danny White Hodge is on 30. And the rest has come as extras. So let's see where England are going. The rate they're going, they are going to reach that 180. Sri Lanka do need some wickets and need them quick because these two are now settled. That means that they're going to try and push the score. And we've now got a right arm off break coming on. So let's have a watch. Okay, that is just been nudged towards mid-on for a single. Danny and Amy are having a bit of a chat in the middle just to sort of help Danny work out what's going on. Lovely time shot there by Danny. It wasn't a bad ball in terms of the ball delivered. It was just a very good shot, a well-timed shot, because Danny's now set in terms of being in as a batter. She's got her eye in now, and um, the ball was spun with good revs, but Amy got her foot to the ball and gave herself quite a lot of space to be able to get underneath it and then over the top of the field. But they've not put the fielder out there to try and stop it. Oh, good recovery there. Good recovery in terms of the next ball by the bowler. She's really decided to put it in, making Danny come and just block it. So good use of pace there, pace off. And another good ball in terms of bowling. You know, kept it quite low. Length was a lot longer. And Danny's just hit it straight back to the bowler for none. Okay. Oh no. No, no, no. That's gone for a 4, and that should not have gone for a 4 because it's been pulled again to the fielder who dropped it. Danny's middled it, and the fielder has tried to stop it, but the ball has spun on the grass and completely footed her. So the ball's going that way and she's going that way. And that was a poor ball because that was too far down on leg side. And Danny's just helped that round the corner for a 4. So disappointing for Stover. One of the 4s was not, should have been a 4, but the other 2 were, one good shot by Danny and one poor ball that got punished, which got swept down on leg side. So Danny's on 42 off 26, and Amy Jones is 31 off 23. So I've had 8 overs, so we're on 82 for none off 8. So finally, the run rate is heading up towards that 10. I think it's on 10.25 at the minute. So, the top teams. So if you want to do well in this tournament, you're going to need to have, a higher number in terms of that. So we're looking at sort of that 12, 13, 14 if possible in terms of run rate. But England are doing well. And at the moment, if they keep going as they are, they'll reach that 180, which I said in my preview was going to be about right from an England perspective. If they could get a few more, but I think 180 was going to be the good total to get. So new bowler, medium pace, little bit of swing on the off stump, and that's just been taken for a 1. So just looking at Danny's 4s, and all of Danny's 4s have come where she's made herself some room. Good hand speed, good eyes on the ball, and watched it all the way. So, second ball of the over. Swing and a miss. Ooh, and Danny did exactly the same face that I did. Ooh, because That didn't move much, but Danny didn't time it as well as she could have done, and that was, unlucky not to get an edge on that. Good keeping to keep an eye on that. S So that is a little bit straighter, and that has been hit straight to point, so no run. So one run conceded off 3 balls, so good over so far. So this has gone down to middle and leg, and there's been a throw for a run out, but I don't think this is a run out. I think she was well in. So what's happened? It's been bowled down towards legs, flicked off, and going for the one. Good sliding of the bat there by Amy Jones. Yeah, well in. Next ball. That's gone middle and straight, and Amy has just punched it up to mid on for a single. So just 3 runs conceded off 5 in this over. England's at 85 for none off 8.5. Score predictor saying 199. We'll see. Good running again by England. Shot into the outer to the circle on the 25 to the fielder, but good communication between the two to say that they're going to run. And Amy and Danny have been running well between the wickets, and they've managed to get a single. So at this moment in time, England are 86 without loss, so 86 for not 9 overs. So really, really good start by England. So run rate just dropping a little bit to 9.56. But I do expect these two to try and kick on a little bit more now. So 199 might be a possibility, but let's not curse it. Good use of the feet to attack the spin bowler. Good stop on the boundary behind the bowler, and just to keep it down to a 2. She might want to bring that fielder a little bit finer, but good pick up with 2 hands. Pushed herself up off the floor, and good throw in to the bowler's end. So good fielding there. Oh, and it's in that spot again, and Danny has scored another 4, but it could have been preventable. Sri Lanka have had several opportunities to put a fielder in the deep on the offside for Danny Wyatt to stop the boundaries and to even potential catch her out. And they've not. Now, well played, Danny, because you've scored 50 off 32. But Sri Lanka have not helped themselves here tactically by not having somebody out there, because you can bet your bottom dollar England will put someone out there when it's their turn to field, because they know how dangerous a couple of their batters are. So if you're watching, put somebody in the deep. And just dropped short of the Sri Lankan fielder. Danny's smiling because she knows she's got away with that one, because she didn't hit it very well. She moved her feet really well, but in terms of the ball, She just opened her bat face a bit more and just dropped a bit short of the fielder who's in the deep. And yeah, so just gone for the one. Good attempts by the fielder to slow the ball, to try and stop the ball and actually slow the ball down. Danny's now back on strike. And she has gone for a 6. And she has got a 6. Really well timed shot. I don't even think she got all of that in terms of the full connection of the bat, but she really set herself and really good hand speed to hit the ball over the top of the fielders and straight for a 6. So lovely shot. England have just got to the 100 off 9.5. So I did say England would start to accelerate. So next ball, middle and leg, and has been been dropped at square just for a single. And England are 101 for none, and the strike rate's gone back up to 10.10. So from an England perspective, really good over. And that's sort of what you need, and that's what you need to build and use as the tournament goes on, especially with your top order players. The umpire has just ushered the drinks people to get off the pitch because it is not a drinks break. Well done, umpires. There's not a drinks break. We've just had a change of bowler. There's no scheduled drinks break. They had one at the end of the power play when they didn't need to. Well done, umpires. Boot them off. Just get on with playing. Shouldn't need a drink every over. So looking at the graph, it looks like England's best over was the 7th over, followed by the over just beat the 10th. So we're now entering the 11th. And oh, lovely throw, just missed. I think Danny would have been in, but in terms of the throw, it was a good setup in terms of the base, in terms of the pickup. Two-handed pickup. She got side on, and just a ball's width away from the stumps then. So 1 run to England, not out. And that has been heaved for 6 by Amy Jones. Okay, so really lovely shot here. So Amy's managed to get her back foot back and across. Her left foot has then opened up. She's got nice and low and had her bat low to high. Really good bat speed and had a really strong finishing position to the side of her head and has just hit a 66 meter 6. Lovely shots. I'd say probably second best shot by Amy today. So she moves on to 40 off 27. Danny's on 59 off 36. England are 108 for none off 10.2. So next ball in. That is wide, but just past the fielder on the inner circle. But there is a fielder out there backing up. So England have just run the 1. So I'm just showing a few highlights of Danny's 59 not out at the minute while Sri Lanka reset the field. Just trying to see who they've moved. And that is raced. Oh, there we go. There's the fielder I was talking about. That should have been there earlier on. Is stopped to 4. There we go. So managed to beat the inner ring fielder. Looked like it was going for 4, but the fielder has scooted round. Really good pickup on the boundary and stopped it. And England have only got a 2. Now, if Sri Lanka would have done that earlier on in the game, then the score would not be as much as this. Genuinely feel that Sri Lanka did not do their homework. Oh, so she tried to heave it on the leg side there. Didn't time it, Danny. Managed to miss the stumps. Went to the fielder, but the fielder slipped. Fielder's okay, but England have managed to run a single. So last ball of the over. And Amy Jones is facing. So that was put on the line, the wide line on purpose to try and stop Amy from hitting it on leg side, but Amy has managed to get across with her body and actually hit it towards that cow corner for a single. So really good over again from an England perspective. 12 off the over. The run rate has gone up again, 10.27. Sri Lanka have used 6 different bowlers, and only really Mathali with 2 overs for 14 runs, and Kavisha. But Kavisha's only had 1 over, so yeah. So they're trying to mix it up, Sri Lanka, to give England problems, but England have got the answers at the minute, and England are now 113 off 11 overs. So Amy Jones is on strike. So that's been aimed towards Amy's leg stump, and a bit of a miscommunication there between the fielders as to who was going to throw it in. And England have ran hard for 2. So good spot there by England. Amy Jones back on strike, 44 off 30. And very leg side heavy for Amy Jones, as you would expect, because she likes playing shots there. And what does she do? She does an absolute beauty of a front drive on the offside between the fielders for a 4. Lovely time shot that, Amy Jones. We know you can do it, just need to do it more often. Brilliant shot. Don't always have to hit it on leg. There's some fielders on the offside, but if you can hit a shot like that, doesn't matter. Absolute brilliant shot between cover and point. There's a 15-meter gap between the two of them, and she's managed to find that gap. Beautiful 4. Next ball. Oh, she's dropped it. I don't believe it's not butter. I honestly thought that she got that then. Amy Jones thought she got caught out, and she's just fumbled it. Let's just watch this again. Amy's hit it straight to the bowler. Bowler's put 2 hands, tried 2 attempts to catch it, and she's dropped it. Another let off. Another let off, and England have now scored a single off the next ball. Oh, Sri Lanka. You've got to take your chances, especially against the stronger teams. It was a really good ball, put lots of pressure on Amy to make a mistake. She tried 2 attempts to catch it, and then she dropped it. Oh. And another good ball, bowled, and England have managed to take a single in that. Oh, how frustrating. There's 1 ball left of the over. Two really good opportunities by Sri Lanka missed. And Amy Jones has capitalised on both. So Amy is now on 49. needs one for a half century. And there she has it. Nice single down to mid on. And she's got her 50. Yes, she got dropped twice, but there were some fantastic shots and some really good running between the wickets between her and Danny. So really well deserved. 250s for England. They're opening batters in the first game of the Women's Cricket World Cup being held in England. Obviously, this being the first game between England and Sri Lanka being held at Edgbaston today. So really well done, Amy Jones. Good 50. So we now had 12 overs done. England are 122 for none. The strike rate of 10.17. So again, bowled in a good position in terms of on fourth, fifth stump, but Amy's got time to get across and hit it towards long on for a single. So Danny's on 63 off 39. And again, hit up to deep mid on for a single. So looks like the bowler is trying to get it to bounce a bit more. Yeah, and really rotate it to make it really awkward. So this leg spin, again, good ball by the leg spinner, only a single taken. But the great thing about her is that she's actually mixing it up. So a little bit fuller, less flight, just mixing it up a little bit. This is a little bit wider. Oh, again, it's been hit in the place where I've said so many times today that there needed to be a fielder there by Sri Lanka because Danny loves hitting it there. There's no point having 4 fielders. She's going to get through you, over the top of you, a really deep point or deep cover. Just somebody there because she's just hit another good shot, but he's gone for 4. Next ball on off stump and good fielding. Well done. Really good stop that. Good dive on the boundary. Really worked hard there to get to there to stop a 4 and has actually kept it down to 2. Yeah, it was in between 2 fielders, so they had to be careful, but it was a really good stop. 2 balls left of the over. And lovely cut shot by Danny. There was a fielder at sort of that 4th, 5th slip position, but it bounced well before her, so just the single. So Amy Jones is now on 52 off 36. And most of the shots that have scored have been leg side and straight. Danny White is on 71 off 43. And we're in the 14th over. 132 for none. Strike rate is at 10.15. So still 200 is on the cards. Sri Lanka need a wicket. They need a wicket. And that's just a single. Good ball by Malky in terms of it was slower, it was a little bit wider. Not what Danny was expecting. Bowlers managed to stop the speed, but just conceded the one. And oh look, deep cover is able to quite calmly pick that up, and just the one by England. Yeah, Amy just showing on replays. Amy Jones, 2 drop catch opportunities by Sri Lanka that they've missed out on. Next ball. A lot fuller, more towards the pads, middle and leg, but well dealt with by Danny. Good flick off the pads for a 1. Sri Lanka can't let their head drops. This could be an even bigger score if they don't keep concentrating. So they need to keep England guessing. Oh, finally. Finally, Sri Lanka have got their deserved wicket. It has taken 13.3 balls, but really well deserved this because 3 good balls by the bowler to tempt a shot, and Amy Jones has decided, yep, I want to take that. Just didn't time it perfectly, and a really good catch by the Sri Lankan captain. Nice and clean, really good take. That's how you do it. And Amy Jones has been caught out 53 off 38. So we said that Sri Lanka needed a wicket. Well, they've got one. Next task is they've got a new batter coming in. If I was Sri Lanka, I would definitely put the pressure on. You need to take wickets. You need to stop England from scoring because this could get to 200 plus if you're not careful. So you need to put pressure on the new batter. It's not rocket science. If you put pressure on the new batter, they're going to start making mistakes, especially if they don't score after 3 or 4 dot balls. So Nat Siver's come in. So for those of you who don't know, Nat's been injured, and she's only recently been able to come back. She's played 2 warm-up games, and obviously for Nat to come into this position with a really strong platform to have is, the ideal situation for Nat. So you may find in the next few minutes that Nat just takes her time and not start to score quickly straight away. But if there's a bad ball, this is going to go to the boundary. And there's 6.5 overs left. So yeah, so they really do need to really restrict Nat if possible, because Danny is the set batter now, and she's working really, really hard. Just checking her strike rate. So let's just double check the strike rate. Yep, so she's on 162, Danny. So she's on 73 off 45 with 9 fours and 1 6. So yeah, Sri Lanka just needs to put pressure on Nat when she comes in and hope that they can stop her from scoring. But they just need to stay positive and build on that. There's 2 balls remaining of this over. So that is a right-handed bat, and she has a strike rate of 119 in 132 matches for England. That 5th ball coming in. Okay, a bit fuller on the off stump. That's just nice and easy. Just hit it out into the deep for a single to get Danny back on strike. So little bit of I would say a let off. Not really much pressure around that. So yeah, so last ball of the over, and that's been aimed definitely fuller towards the leg, and England have ran for a 2. Good running there. Good running, and Danny moves on to 75 of 46. So they're just showing the catch to get Amy Jones out. Good take from the mid-off position to take that. So 14 overs gone, and we are back onto the 15th over. So only 6 runs conceded and a wicket. So really good over that. So yes, we know England should accelerate the next few overs. Right, first ball. Oh, Yorker, but well dug out. And that has been managed to be digged out for a single. And that Siver did really well to get a bat down to that. That was definitely going to be out if she did not time that. And Danny is going to be on strike. So we're just watching. Yeah, so that's 2 from 2. Next ball. A little bit wide, but England have just taken the single. So Nat did try to get it past the fielders in terms of the circle, just didn't quite get it into the gap. But Danny is the set batter on 76, so we'll see. Good running by Danny, because that was hit hard, nice and low straight to mid off, but she knew she was just going to run for the single. So England ticking along, only 4 off the over, but rotating the strike. Not on strike. And that was a good ball. Good Yorker ball, which was blocked by Nat Severbrunt. Yeah. Good defence there by Nat. Last ball of the over. Okay, that was a bit fuller, and that is too full and too wide, and that has been punished by Nats for a 4. And that is now she's off 7 off 5. Really good shot that, but a little bit of a gift after a really good start of the over. And that's what I was talking about earlier in terms of you could have a really good 4 or 5 balls, but if one of those balls is loose, you're going to get punished. And even with Nat not having a lot of time in the middle, she's just too good to let that pass, and that's what's going to separate the good teams from the very good teams in this tournament. So, yeah, it's that consistency. So England are currently going to be aiming for 195, potentially 201. We'll see how the next few overs go. And Danny has managed to scooped it with a bit of a okay. So it was definitely just Danny wanting to get a boundary. She just came back and across and did a pull shot into the gap. It didn't reach the boundary, so they've running for at least a one. Then she's come back for a two, and they have managed a two. Oh, and that has just missed the keeper. So that was just an edge, missed the keeper, and missed the slip. And England have now reached 150 for one of 15.2 overs. So lovely back of the handball, just edged it. Keeper missed it, and slip managed just to stop it from the boundary. And this, oh no, oh, not again. A bit unlucky this for the fielder. So it's been hit, it's been on the pull, on leg. The fielder is trying to run backwards to try and catch it and has got a stud stuck, I think, because she stopped being able to run and it's dropped in behind her. And they've managed to run for a two. Oh, Danny's tried to do a reverse sweep there and didn't time it, so no run. Fifth ball. A lovely time shot. A little bit wide. And the fielder wasn't really set for that type of ball, so it has actually gone past the fielder, past the deep cover, and has gone for four. So, in terms of leg spin, just obviously Danny being proactive, attacking the ball, so it's not up here when it reaches her, but the ball was short, so definitely punished. And this one has been short again, but yeah, short again, and has been punished on the leg side now with a pull shot for four. And that is really disappointing, those last two balls. The plan was right, as in the ball was put short, but she didn't move her fielders, which makes me think she didn't actually mean it. But she's now been punished, and 8 runs have now been conceded. So we're now England are 160 for one, and Danny is on 90 off 53. Natsiva is 8 off 6. There are 4 overs, so 24 balls left. Let's see where England can end up being. Okay, so we've gone back to off spin, and Nat has managed to punch it towards cow corner just for a single. So the field for Danny, there's 3 deep at leg and 1 deep cover on the off. And good stop by the fielder. So the deep cover in the off on the offside has actually stopped a boundary there. Well done, Amisha, for running round and stopping that because that was coming really quickly at you. Um, and really good stop to stop the boundary for a four. And England have just got a single off that. Danny's now swinging and missing a little bit. She's managed to hit the ball, miss the stumps behind, and just for a single. So she's getting a bit tired. Just seemed a little bit of a lax shot compared to her other shots. Nat has heaved that. Absolutely heaved that on leg side. Nice and low. Lovely, lovely sweep shot for four. And yeah, she's happy. She's got a smile on her face. She's enjoying this. And so are the lifeguards in the crowd. They're doing a bit of a steps routine. Yeah, so Nat set herself. She knew exactly where she wanted to hit it. And next ball been bowled in, and that's been just hit straight to point by Nat. But there was a slower ball, so less opportunity to get used to the speed of the ball to help her with that. And the last shot has been hit straight to the fielder who's in the ring for no run. So she's a little bit disappointed with herself, but she shouldn't be. She's only just come back from injury and she's on 13 off 10. Danny's on 93 off 55. 168 for one off 17. So England, I expect, will try and push to 200. So let's see who's bowling next. Dasanyanka, who has not had a happy time. She's conceded 35 off 18 balls. Looks like the umpire has had a word with Danny, but I'm not sure what about. And she's asked for middle. Interesting. Be interesting to watch that back to see what the umpire has asked Danny about. And first ball, Danny is hit to mid on just for a single. So second ball, which has been aimed at middle stump, has been hit towards cow corner for a single. So Nats is on 14 off 11 and Danny's back on strike. So that's been fired into the pads on the leg, but was going well down leg side, so there wasn't even an appeal, and England have managed to get a leg bye. So leg bye is where you've attempted to play the shots, but it's hit your leg, your pads, and it's gone for some runs. Oh, another dropped catch. Oh, this one was difficult. But Natsiva has let off the hook. She scored a two. So this got skied, and the fielder has launched herself forward to try and catch this. She had it, but she just could not take it when she hit the deck. And Nat has heaved it to the fielder on the boundary. and has gone for a single. Nat can't by about the minute, but that's just been dropped. Oh, it was in her hands as well. Really disappointing. Really disappointing. And Danny has just nicked a single off the last ball of that over. And England are now 175 for one off 18. Danny's on 95 off 58. And 2 overs remaining. So England definitely need to try and pick up the ante for the last 2 overs if they want to reach that 200. I said 180 would be the competitive score, but just due to how they've accelerated, and obviously Sri Lanka not taking their chances. And England have got a single. Danny was trying to do an absolute heave ho of a shot and mistimed it, went behind her, past the stumps for a single. So Alice Capsey is waiting patiently in case she's needed, as she is the next one supposedly coming in. Next ball come in. Well-timed shot that by Nat. She opened up her body and, they've got a 2. Oh, if that would have been a better throw in, that probably should have been out. Good running by England in terms of intent. They've got wickets in hand, so they might as well have tried to go for the 2 there. But if Sri Lanka would have had a better throw in and the keeper would have been a bit more proactive, that could have been out. Oh, she's just done a nap paddle. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. So she's set herself really calmly, feet pointing forwards, bat nice and still, flat out in front of her, and just flicked it over her left shoulder. Keeper, absolute no chance. No fielder down there. That's the best shot of the game. That is the best shot of the game so far. And a lovely time shot by Nat Siver for 4. Because that has been slapped past the bowler, past the fielder. See you later. Yeah, the field is very wide. Up mid off. 2 fours. 2 balls left of the over. Nat has taken a couple of steps and tried to heave it towards cow corner. Good stop. Good teamwork there by Sri Lanka to stop that for going for a 4. But Nat obviously loves playing that sweep shot and getting her bat nice out far in front of her to get that good connection to strike it. Ooh, last ball of the over, and we're gonna hopefully think that's a wide, even though the batter did move across. So yeah, so deep mid wicket and long on are having to work very hard at the minute. And that is a beautiful shot. Another one by Nat Siver. Just opened up her body, giving herself some room, let her hands come right through the shot and guided that for 4. Past it in a ring, and deep cover's got absolutely 0 chance of reaching that. Well timed. Really timed. So that is the end of the 19th over. And yeah, Danny is on 96 off 59. And Nat Silverbrunt is on 33 off 18. Danny Wyatt needs 4 for 100 for a century. And it is signalling that this is going to be the last over. So Sri Lanka are allowed 4 on the outside of the ring because it's women's cricket. Oh, she's tried so hard to get a 4 and she just didn't time it very well. She's just got a single. Danny's gone all the way across the stumps to try and see if she could flick it to the boundary. Didn't time it and has just got the 1. She's raging. Natsiva, I think, is if she doesn't hit a boundary, will try and get Danny back on strike so she can get 100 here. And Nat has reached. Oh, that should be a wide, and it is being given a wide. So that's gone down leg side. So Nat Siver has now gone over Charlotte Edwards, the coach, for the most runs for England in an ICC World Cup on 771. And Nat has just punched that up to mid off. England have gone for a 2. And it's a no ball as well, just to add insult to injury for Sri Lanka. And yeah, that's well over, I'm afraid. And no wonder the captain, she's got a hand in her head because that's another thing that has let them down today. Have to re-bowl it. And Nat has managed to get a 4 in between the two fielders, seen the gap, and that has now been punished. No ball has been punished for a 4. So Nat moves to 39 off 20. Yeah, just a poor ball, to be honest. It just right in Nat's arc in terms of where Nat likes to hit it. That's third ball. Oh, I think that's going to be another wide. Yep, and that's been given a wide. It was hard for Sri Lanka anyway today. Even if they did take wickets, but they're making it harder for themselves now by giving away these extra wides and no balls. Still 4 balls left of the over. And then Nat has just lofted it over the top for 6. She has come to the party. Is she going to try and get a 50 and not let Danny get a half century? Oh, that would be no. I mean, selfishly, yeah, you do want to get half century, but the fact that Danny's at the other end on 97. Oh, well, personally, I would want Danny to get 100, but you can understand if Nat decides not to. And Nat has tried to get a boundary for 4, but has just got the 1. So I think she might be secretly smiling about that because that now means Danny is on strike. There is 2 balls, 2 good balls left. She needs 3 to get her century. The ideal situation is Danny would get 3 and then the last ball, Nat would get a 4, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So, let's have a watch. Come on, we're willing you on. Come on, Danny. She's got the gap. Yes! Well deserved, Danny. Wyatt Hodge. A fantastic, fantastic century there. Such a really composed innings there by Danny and showed why England have missed her in the last series because that was running well between the wickets, punishing the bad ball, and then attacking certain bowlers to try and keep the pressure on, which he has managed to do. So well done, Danny. Last ball, and that is a wide. So that is got another ball to come, and England are 215 for 1. So yeah, so Danny was absolutely adamant she was going to get that 4. She moved all the way across the 5th stump just to make sure she'd be able to hit it on leg side and swept it for a 4. So absolutely brilliant, brilliant by Danny. And a really nice celebration there, celebrating the birth of her child. Last ball, 215. And that has been hit. And a 4. Well, that has just put icing on the cake for England. And that has gone for a 4. And England have finished on 219 for 1 with 23 4s and 3 6s. So Danny Wyatt has finished on 105 off 62. Bearing in mind that obviously Nat Siver got 46 off 22, and if she hadn't have got that single and got a 4, I still think Danny probably would have been given the strike just to make sure. But fantastic, fantastic from Danny. Just check my sheet. So Amy Jones managed 53 runs off 38 balls with 4 4s and 1 6. Danny with 105 from 62 balls, 13 4s, 1 6. And Nat Sivers managed 46 off 22 with 6 4s and 1 6. So, really, really dominant performance by the England batters. Now, there were some really good balls by Sri Lanka in those 20 overs. But as I've said all the way from the beginning, you have to be consistent. You've got to have 6 good balls. You can't just have 4 good balls and 2 bad ones because the 2 bad ones are going to get punished, especially when you play the top teams. And this is the next step for Sri Lanka in terms of how they're going to rise up the rankings. They need to be able to deal with stronger players. And I do think tactically they did not do their homework because there were many opportunities to put a deep cover in earlier on in the game to stop Danny, and they didn't put one there. And then they know that Nat Siver, even though Nat can play 360s and all the way around the pitch, that she likes to hit it in that space, and that they've not tried to protect the bowlers and actually try and put pressure on Nat by not hitting there. And then we've had the 2 drop catches, which, well, if they would have been Jones got dropped twice, which would have meant Nat would have come in sooner. But and then Nat obviously got dropped herself earlier on when in her innings. Those tiny things make a massive difference at that level. At any level, but at international level, when you've got such strong players, the fact is that you've dropped 3 chances. I'm not saying they were easy chances, but 3 chances, and you've given away, let me just double check this. In terms of extras, 15 extras in a international. Now, it's not the worst I've ever seen by any stretch, but it's still a lot of extras, which were unnecessary extras. And the fact is, you've now got to try and chase down 219 is a tall order. It's Sri Lanka have definitely improved in the batting department in terms of it's not just a one-woman show. But in terms of the ability to chase that total down, they just will not have the depth to be able to do that if England bowl like they can bowl. So if Lauren Bell and Lindsay Smith start well and keep them below 40 in the power play, it is going to be, well, not impossible, but very, very difficult for Sri Lanka to chase this down. It is a scoring pitch, but there's England, if they're smart about this and actually use the plan and stick to the plan and then execute the plan, it could be that they limit Sri Lanka to 120, maybe even 100, or even potentially bowl them out before the 20 overs. But it is, I would say, definitely a batting pitch, so may not bowl them out, but it would definitely send a statement to everybody in terms of, we're here, we don't mind the pressure of being the home nation, and this is how we're going to play. So I don't think Charlotte Edwards could have asked for a better start in terms of the first game from a batting perspective. Obviously, you've only got your top 3 in terms of having a run out and having a bat, but it gives the rest of the team confidence. And precious time in the middle, got runs, being really positive. But yeah, Sri Lanka needing an 11 runs and over, which is a really tall task. So what's happening is the England players are just warming up at the moment, fielding and practicing their bowling and marking out, double checking their run-ups. And Sri Lanka are just having their break in terms of getting ready to bat. So just pulling up my stats on my phone just so I could see. So in terms of the Sri Lankan bowlers, well, apart from Nikisha Silva, who did 2 overs for 16. Um, Everyone else has really, really struggled. Um, like I said, there were some really good balls in between there, um, and just not really having a plan when England started to accelerate. But now we're just having a break in between the two. So we will see in a few minutes. How are England going to attack this? What are they going to do? I'm just gonna move the microphone forward a little bit, just so I can chomp, as in word of the day, chomp. That means eat. And I've got a banana bread just to try and tie me over because I was a little bit hungry today and I don't know, I've just been eating for Britain the last few days. Not sure why. Maybe it's anticipation for Ireland next week or ready for tomorrow's match tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, really looking forward to tomorrow. So we've got Ireland versus Scotland and Australia versus South Africa at Emirates Old Trafford tomorrow. So Ireland Scotland will start at 10:30 and Australia South Africa are going to start at 2:30. The weather, being Manchester, is not looking particularly great. So I'm just on the app and potential rain at 8 a.m., but windy, cloudy, highs of 16. So we should, fingers crossed, actually get a bit of a game. Both games, both games tomorrow. And actually being able to watch some cricket. So be great to see Sarah, as in Sarah Bryce and Catherine Bryce. Sarah Bryce is lovely. She did her coaching qualification a few months ago, and she's a qualified level 2 coach now. And I am sure she will go on to do her level 3 to be able to coach county and maybe even international. Really knowledgeable, really nice person. And Ailsa Lister, who's a Lancashire player, she also was on the coaching course I did a few months ago, who's now qualified as a coach as well as a international player, and I expect her to, once she's finished her playing career, go and have a fantastic coaching career. Both fantastic people, really, really knowledgeable of the game, and bring that energy to the women's game. And we need, I would say, more players at that standard to actually take up coaching and to inspire. Women's and girls cricket has grown so much, especially in the last 5 years, um, domestically here in England and in Wales. And obviously, having the World Cup here in England is only going to magnify the importance of having women and girls and opportunities for women and girls in cricket here in the UK, and having that spotlight and having a World Cup here in England is just so important. We had such great success with the women's football team, the Lionesses, and then obviously the Red Roses in terms of rugby union, and home winning the World Cup. So there is pressure on this England team to do well at this tournament and to potentially win the tournament, but they have definitely not come in most people's eyes as favourites, because our team has not had the same number of international matches compared to everyone else in the last 12 months. We've not really shown much form, as in playing well, and I didn't really think Charlotte Edwards knew her best team, being brutally honest. And it's only been the last two warm-up matches between the India series and this game where the same 11 have played. And I think this team has actually got a very good balance in terms of batters, all-rounders. We've got some good spin options. But I do worry if someone, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but if someone like Danny gets injured, or Nat Siver picks up that calf injury, or Lauren Bell gets injured, I do think we are going to struggle. So, yeah, I would love England to prove me wrong. I really would. But I just don't see them at the minute winning the World Cup. But there is plenty of time between now and the knockout games. So England need to get to the knockout games first and then actually perform in a knockout game, because we have not done that for a while in terms of being able to put on a performance when it matters. So we brought in Charlotte Edwards to make a difference, to get results. Well, this is the time where things have to start coming together. So hopefully we've made a good start against Sri Lanka, and we now need to perform well with the ball. So England, Sri Lanka have just made their way onto the pitch, and Danny has been given an energy bar because she's just worked her tail off for the last hour and a half. So Sri Lanka need 220 off 20 overs, so strike rates of 11 and over, to win this game. So the sun in Edgbaston is definitely setting towards the west side, which is going to be the leg side at the start of this over. So the field is on the offside, and this first over, we're really going to have to concentrate because it's at a really annoying low level. So Lauren Bell has got the ball in her hands, and she's a fast medium, and she's bowling at the City end. Has managed 42 matches and 60 wickets, and arguably England's best strike bowler since Catherine Brunt. So Lauren Bell's for Spall, which is just drained down leg side, hit the pad, but there's no way that's going to be LBW because there's still another 2 feet to go before it hits the wickets. And yeah, into the gap and for no run. So England have gone for a slip. And quite an attacking field because, quite frankly, they've got a really strong target, a really good target to defend. Lauren Bell comes in, nice and straight, and that's been hit to mid off. Sophie's just overthrown that a little bit and has had to apologise because she's thrown it towards back to the keeper. So Lauren Bell just reminding herself to focus with a little bracelet that she has on her right hand. A little bit of bounce there, and that has gone for no run. Really strong start here by Lauren. Nice and controlled. Not giving anything too easy away. And England are looking very relaxed in the field and chirping, so being really positive and encouraging. And Lauren's coming in for a fourth ball. Little bit of swing there, and this has been punched through the gap for 4. Fielder made a really good effort to try and stop that. There's 3 fielders in a very close proximity on that offside to try and stop that. But she's managed to squeeze it right in the middle of the 2 of them, especially with the swing of the ball, and has gone past the fielder. So in between point and backward point, right in between them, and that's gone for 4. So, like I said, the offside players are having to wear shades and a hat because the sun is at a really low, awkward angle. And that has been missed by Amy Jones, but it's going to be byes because there was no bat or pad involved. Not quite sure what that came off. I think it could have been like a shoulder. Let's just look at the replay. Yeah, it was like the hip area, and it's just bounced just before Amy and headed towards the boundary, but just the one. So 5 so far off the over. So we've now got new striker, and that is a bit frustrating by Lauren because she's bowled to a left-handed bowler. It's gone down leg side, off the pad, and it's gone for 4 leg byes. So that is 9 off the over, with 5 of them being extras. So Lauren might be a little bit disappointed with that. So good start by Sri Lanka. So Lindsay Smith should be coming up to ball next. So Lindsay is a left arm off spin and has been bowling really well for England the last few matches. Has come in a little bit of a loosener for the first ball in terms of it just, I think, just did not come out of her hand very well, but hasn't been punished and only been a 1. And because of that, England are having to rotate their fielders and move around because Sri Lanka have a left and right hand combination. And we're now having to go back towards the left-hander. Lindsay Smith. That's better, aiming more towards the feet, and that has been hit for no run. So that's a much better ball. Really fired it in at her feet, a lot straighter. Just made it that challenging. So there is a first slip in place as well. And that has been absolutely taken. A lovely shot, but it's only for a 2. She hit that so well. She hit that so elegantly. If you're going to watch a 6 or an attempted 6, she is the player. I'm just so surprised it just did not go for a 6 because she hit it so well and she can clear the ropes. And that has been punched down the ground, but again, just not reached the boundary and only for a 1. So 2 really good looking shots that have just not reached the boundary. Just really clean contact with the full face of the bat. Really good hands as well, and really good follow through. And Lynn Smith had just bowled again for the 5th ball for a dot ball. So yeah, 2 lovely looking shots, which unfortunately have not gone for a boundary, but this one is definitely really good. Yeah, well done, Capsy, for getting round, stopping the boundaries, but just for a 1, so only 5 conceded off the over. So this is where England have done the homework because both batters, opening batters of Sri Lanka, love hitting straight. And England have recognised that with their homework and have put Capsy, one of their quicker fielders, on long on to be able to then come round and sweep. So if she doesn't hit a 4 or a 6 or a 6, she's definitely going to stop it because she's so quick around the edge. So this is the difference. Sri Lanka, I don't think, did that homework. So Lauren Bell back into the attack. That is going to be out, I think. Yes, that was straight. That was going on middle stump. That was, I don't think you don't even review this because it is going to be out. It literally was middle of the pad and straight. Have they left this too late to review? Because they both did it exactly on 0. I don't think they're going to review this because they left it too late, surely. And I think they've wasted a review because this is not touching bat. There's a gap, and that is going to clatter into the middle stump. So Ultra Edges now come up to see if there's been a spike, which there hasn't. There's been a gap. And then the ball has hit the knee roll. And it is slap bang middle. Middle of middle. Like, if you're gonna appeal for LBW, that is the ball that is always should be out. Well done, Jacqueline Wilson, because that's the easiest LBW you're gonna probably have all tournament, and you knew what you were talking about, but don't even know why you reviewed because that was out as out could be. Even with 2 foot to go, you still only it was gonna hit middle of middle. No, not just the middle, the height of middle. So 14 for 1, wicket, first over by Lauren Bell. So, like I said, Sri Lanka just needs to stay positive, needs to try and score some runs, and do what they can do because it could still go down to run rate. Even if they lose, it could still go down to run rate. So they just need to try their best to get as the best total as possible. So, Delena's coming in. And that's a wide from Bell. Is it? Yeah. It looks wide. But that's the easiest LBW Jacqueline Wilson's ever probably given. Plum as plum can be. For those of you who are not from England, plum means middle. It means dead centre. So Lauren's going to do another ball. And down leg side again. And the batter's just flicks it round the corner for 1. So Lauren's just not found her length yet, even though that wicket ball was a really good ball. The other balls haven't been in, I would say, the right places yet. Just really straying a little bit too much down leg. Lauren's at her best when she's aiming full and straight and just attacking the wickets. Yeah, just like that. Even though Sri Lanka have got a single off that, a lot more intent, especially because the ball is slightly swinging now. Um, any edge on that, and that's going to go to be caught, especially if the batter doesn't time it really well. So, yeah, obviously, it's very difficult when you've got a left-hander and a right-hander. You do have to adjust sometimes your run up and obviously where you actually aim in. So, again, it's gone down leg and it has gone for a wide. It's just very difficult to sometimes swap from a left-hander to a right-hander. And that's why, especially in international cricket, it's so important to have a little bit of both rather than just all right-handers. Because as a bowler, you know, it just makes things a lot harder. So Lauren's struggling here a little bit. So again, she's put it into the pitch, bit too wide, and a lovely time shot by Ismesha on the back foot and just now hit that for 4. So yeah, so out of these, what, 5 balls, 2 of them have been good by Lauren, 3 of them haven't. So a little bit concerning from an England point of view that she's not found that rhythm yet. But really well timed back foot shot there from the Sri Lankan between point and cover. There's about 15 meters between the two, and she's aimed right in the middle. There we go. So Lauren's now really just focused on that off stump now. And the batter has had to defend it, and that's gone for no run. So if I was Lauren now for that last ball, I would just try and do the same. Good length, not too wide, and just aim at the stumps because it is slightly swinging away. So let's just watch this last ball. Yeah, good ball, Lauren, to finish on. So she's put it into the pitch and it's ended up just over middle, above the belly button area. So it has bounced and then which meant that the batters actually had to defend it. And there's been no run. So after 3 overs, it's 22 runs for 1 wicket. Obviously, that 1 wicket coming down from Lauren Bell in that first ball in that last over, in the third over. But out of those 7 balls that Lauren did, 3 of them were of a standard that I think Lauren expects them to be at, rather than the others, which were a bit leg side, a bit wayward. So interestingly, Lindsay Smith is not bowling now. It's actually Dino. And Dino straight away, really good line and length, aiming for middle stump, using her off spin, attacking the left hander, and first ball, dot ball, no run. Good start, Dino. Coming back in. Okay, this could be out. Oh, well taken. Oh, what a great catch that by Danny Hodge. So lovely ball by Dino to tempt the batter into a sweep shot. She's not got all of it. It's gone high, really high. And Danny has had to run backwards into the sun to be able to keep an eye on this. So it was a really good attacking ball. She's toe ended it a little bit. It skied up in the air. And I thought this was going to drop behind Danny, but Danny has managed to get her hands out to the ball at an angle, running behind her, obviously, just to watch it, and a great catch to take. She's had an absolute blinder of a game today with the run scored and that fielding. Danny's so good in the field, and especially in the deep, making sure there's no boundaries. And England have literally got their second wicket. Dino second ball in her first over. And I don't want to say this, but I think Sri Lanka are going to get all out here for less than 80. I do worry now. They've just got to dig in and try and punish any bad ball that comes if they come. So Dino again attacking the stumps. It's landed on middle. Sri Lanka are having to just defend at the minute. Yeah, just watching Danny's catch. Yeah, really good take. Anyway, Dino has just floated it a little bit higher this time, just to get above the batter's eye line, which makes it really tricky to keep an eye on. And the batter's done well to actually try and be positive to try and score, but it's gone straight to the fielder. And lovely shots into to the boundary for 4. This was a fantastic shot. This is how you play against spin. She waited for the ball because Dino had been bowling quite straight at her. She just waited and waited and waited, and then she's managed to get her feet to the ball, head over the ball, and really timed that front foot drive in between the fielders for a 4. And really clever. There should be a 2, maybe even a 3. Dino's just bowled it a little bit wider, and she's just done a little late cut shot because there's no slip now into the gap where the slip was, and it's gone for 2. So even though Sri Lanka have lost a really big wicket, those last 2 balls have been fantastic from a Sri Lankan point of view. Lovely cover drive and a really good cut shot to finish on to end the over. So Sri Lanka are 28 for 2 after 4 overs, with 8 of those runs are actually extras. So the batters have scored 20 with 8 extras, pretty much all coming from Lauren Bell's over. So I would expect Lauren Bell not to bowl this over. Correct. So Eccleston is now bowling in the power play. So this is going to be interesting. Um, Probably to give Sophie some confidence. She's not bowled amazingly well when, or to the standard that she has for herself, the last few games. So first ball, not a bad ball. It's just the batter has got to the ball nice and early, low, and they've snuck a two here, which should have only been a one. Oh no, I take that back. It's three. So it should have only been a two, but there was a hesitation by Heather Knight to throw it in, and Sri Lanka have managed to rob a third. So good running by Sri Lanka, poor fielding by England. That should have only been a two. So Sri Lanka are now 31 for two off 4.1. And Sophie, I think, just moved the fielder. Yeah. So we've now got either side of the batter now. So, oh, there we go. So that's better ball, Sophie. So Sophie's now bowling to a left-handed batter. So that means that the ball is going to go into the batter. And the wicketkeepers come up to the stumps to try and see if we can stump her or get an edge to catch it. And it's just been edged past the keeper and towards the boundary, but Lauren Bell's managed to stop it. And good running between the wickets again by Sri Lanka for a two. I'm just surprised they've not put a slip in for Sophie, because we know that this batter likes to play late. Oh, good shot. Again, really, really well timed. It wasn't a bad ball by Sophie, but the batter has managed to get closer to the ball, has managed to really attack the ball. So she's gone and met the ball, head over the ball, full face the bat, and has followed through. So an amazing, amazing shot that for a four. So not a bad ball by Sophie, just really well executed shot. So next ball in. Oh, that was lucky, lucky, lucky. Sophie got a bit more bounce and turn then, and actually managed to get it past the batter's bat, but it went through the gap over the stumps, past everybody. But luckily for England, just straight to a fielder for no run. So last ball of the over, Sophie's coming in, and she's tempted her with a little wide one, and the batter's tried to cut it, not very convincingly, missed the ball. Jones has caught it, and that is the end of the over. So really, really, again, mixed bag, I would say, by Sophie there in terms of some good balls in there, but one or two looseners. So definitely just something that she'll have to have a think about for the next over she bowls. I would expect back to Lindsay Smith. Okay, so they're really changing it up now. So Smith is coming back on. So Smith conceded 5 off her first over, but bowled quite tidy. So we'll see how we get on this next over. First ball in. Oh, okay. So me and Lindsay have just pulled the same face, because that could have been out. She's tried to go for a reverse sweep and she's missed it, missed the gloves, missed the bat. And Jonesy's caught it, but not out. And then another good ball by Lindsay Smith, and the batter's just slapped it to mid-off for no run. So Lindsay's putting the pressure on here. Oh, I don't know how that has not hit the stump. She tried to reverse sweep again, and somehow She's either got a body or a glove, and it's missed. Yeah, it's hit the back of a glove to stop it from hitting the stumps. Oh, and that's out. You could see it was coming, so the batter was trying really, really hard to reverse sweep it, but she's gone for a normal sweep. It's gone to leg, and it's been caught at square leg, and that has been taken. Well done, Lindsay Smith. That's a build-up of pressure there, and she's just swept it straight to square, and that looks like Freya Kemp. Yep, Freya Kemp, nice easy catch, two-handed, towards the shoulder, nice and easy. Good wicket by England's there. And Sri Lanka are 37 for 3. So good mix up there by England. So what normally happens is your two bowlers would generally bowl two, but Lindsay Smith only bowled one. Charlie Dean then bowled the fourth over, and then they've brought Lindsay back on. So England doing well to change up the pace and the style. Dino is a right-handed off spin. Lindsay Smith is a left-handed off spin. So different angles, different ways it bounces. But I like the fact that England spinners are attacking the stumps, and it's, really positive and making the batters play, because we've seen there by Lindsay Smith that, she got frustrated. She tried the reverse sweep twice. She's then done a cover drive straight to mid off and no run. And then she's tried to sweep, didn't get her bat high to low. So she's got from low to high and gone straight to square leg. Now, if she would have gone high to low, I don't think Freya Kemp would have caught it, because it probably would have bounced before it would have reached her. So it's just having that little bit of awareness that actually, if you are going to sweep, you need to make sure you get right under it to get past the inner circle, because we're still in the power play. So for those of you who don't know, in the first 6 overs, you're only allowed 2 fielders on the outside of the white inner circle. So you'll see markers on the floor. You can only have 2 fielders for the first 6 over outside of that circle. And in the women's game, when it's past 6 overs, you're only allowed 4, not 5 like the men's game. You're only allowed 4 fielders on the outside of the circle. So there's more opportunities to score because you've got less people able to stand on the boundary. So it's gonna be, like I said, very difficult for Sri Lanka. They just need to stay positive and not get frustrated, because England are gonna just attack the stumps now, and try and bowl them out. So Lindsay Smith's come in, and again, really well timed shot off the back foot, but straight to a fielder in the inner circle. If she wouldn't have hit that, that would have been out. This ball, as in the balls by Lindsay Smith, every ball would have hit the stumps. Last a little bit more flight, a little bit wider, and the batter has managed to hit it in between the fielders and gone for 2. Still a good over by Lindsay Smith. She's taken 1 wicket for 7 off 2 overs, and that is now the end of the power play. So I said they would probably get to 40. Close. But they needed not to lose their 3 strongest batters. So Sri Lanka just need to just try and stay positive and try and just get as many boundaries as they can to get their run rate up as much as possible. So, yeah. So we're going to see who's bowling next for England. So it's going to be Danny Gibson, who is a medium pacer. She is one of England's all-rounders. She's bowling in. And, yep, so the batter's just done a late cut shot down towards third. And that's just gone for a single. Lauren Bell has found something funny. I think somebody in the crowd said something to her. And all changed because obviously we've now still got a left and a right-handed batter. So Danny Gibson's coming in. And again, attacking middle stump. Lauren is running round and has kept that down to a 1. And everyone swaps around again because we've got a left and a right-hander. Lauren's just trying to work out where she's supposed to stand. So Danny Gibson now third ball of the over. Bit too much on leg side, but England have Alice Capsey down there just to stop anything going around the edges, and has kept that down to a 1. So just a bit down leg side by Danny Gibson that time. So we're just hopefully going to straighten up a little bit. So a little bit of a bouncer and a little bit wide of Lauren, who's tried to stop it, but it has gone for a 4. Just a little bit wide. Danny Gibson's still not found a consistency yet in terms of her line. It was going more towards middle and leg, that ball, and Lauren, good effort to try and stop that, but just missed out. That's a wide. I don't know why. I know Amy Jones was trying to call for an edge, but no, that wasn't an edge. That was just a wide, Amy. I'm afraid to tell you. Cheeky grin there by everybody. But yeah, that's going to be bowled again. Nice calm shot there off the back foot, just for a single. And I've got one more ball of the over. Just watching that back to see if there was an edge, and there wasn't. I tell you what, that was a well played cut shot. And Lauren Bell is a tall girl and she cannot stop that. A really, really lovely time cut shot. Played it really late and it went really fine. You know, we're talking sort of like third, fourth slip to the boundary, and Lauren's just too far away to stop that. So Sri Lanka have moved on to 52 for 3 off 7 overs. And we're now, I wonder if Freya Kemp is going to. Oh, it's back to Charlie Dean. Back to Charlie Dean. I think England are wanting to really mix it up and really test, get some overs under the belt. So Dino is bowling and a bit of a mix-up there between the Sri Lankans in terms of whether they should run or not. There was definitely a run there. Non-striker's end wasn't too sure about it, but it was definitely on. And everybody is now moving around. Charladine is going over the wicket. And we are now having a bit of a change of field. Charladine going around the wicket. And lovely shot over the top, but well round Danny Gibson to stop that for a 4. And that is just a single. Oh, no, I take that back. Good running by Sri Lanka. That's a 2. Apologies, Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka move on to 55 for 3. Charlie Dean bowls in and cut shot straight to backward point, and Freya Kemp stops that, and it is a dot ball. Dean again. And really good sweep shot out to deep cover, but Danny Hodgson is there on the boundary and straight to her, and Sri Lanka just got the single. So Sri Lanka are actually doing some really good shots. It's just that England have just done their homework and have just put certain players in the right places to stop the boundaries. And again, a lovely shot, but England have just stopped it going for a 4, and Sri Lanka have just got a 2. So Sri Lanka should just keep ticking, keep going, just stay positive. So next ball by Charlie Dean. That's gonna be given out. Ooh. Ooh, I would love to see this again. Umpire did take a bit of time to think about this, and I'm wondering if Sri Lanka should just review it. It's a bit late, I'm afraid. And she's decided not to. I'd be really interested to see this again. So Charladine's bowled it. It was pitched off. Oh, that's out. Yeah. Now I've seen a better look from where the umpire stood. Yeah, that's out. So it's pitched outside of line, but when it's impacted the back pad, it was definitely off middle, and it probably would have gone on to hit middle if the ball would have continued. I'd love to see ball tracker right now to see if I'm right. It was leg before wicket, seeing it at that angle rather than just watching it from top down. So good decision. But I would love to have just seen where it would have hit the stumps, because I think it would have been off middle, maybe even just middle. So Sri Lanka are down to 58 for 4 off 8 overs. And Freya Kemp, as I thought the previous over, is getting a chance to bowl, which is good. It means that our all-rounders are getting overs under their belts, and just to rotate the bowlers again, something different for the batter to think about, and it's not the same bowler again and again. So Freya Kemp comes in, and lovely time shot for a 6. Oh, fantastic shot. It wasn't a bad ball by Freya Kemp. It was actually quite a good ball, but really well timed. She got her feet really settled and stable, and she really extended that bat out right out in front of her. And that's just down to timing. Really good follow through as well. So that wasn't a bad ball by Freya Kemp. It was just a very good shot for 6. So I wonder if Freya's just gonna put it a bit closer to her feet rather than just pitching it up now. Let's see what she does. So she's coming in. Yes. Just a little bit fuller down leg. It was a wide, so it has gone down the left-hand side for a wide, but you could see what she was trying to do. She was actually trying to get it more towards leg middle leg in terms of where it was gonna hit the batter. So she was aiming for the stumps. Um, it's just the fact that it was a wide, and Amy's tried to whip the bails off, but she was in a crease. Okay, so good stop there for the fielders on the boundary. So a fantastic, really good pull shot towards the boundary. I think it's Danny on the boundary who's managed to slide and stop the four. And I think it's Capsy who's managed to pick it up and throw it in to stop it for a four and have managed to get a two off that. So really good teamwork there by England. Again, Sri Lanka, another really good shot, just straight to the fielder. Freya Kemp back in for next ball, and that has been bowled. Oh, how? I think the batter just thought she'd covered the stumps, to be honest. I think she generally thought that she'd got all of the stumps covered with that because she just walked off absolutely gutted. I think even Freya Camp can't believe it because it didn't even look like it moved much. I'm just watching it back. It didn't really move that much. She just don't think she realised where her off stump was. Yeah, she's just prodded at it, thinking that she's just gonna defend it, and she's just completely missed where her off stump is. And that's really annoying because she was on 29 off 18 and she was actually going really well, from a Sri Lankan point of view, and she's just given away a wicket. How annoying, how frustrating. Um, Great for England. It's great that Kemp's got a wicket, but now, it's gonna be so hard for Sri Lanka. So hard. There's 3 balls left in the over, and so we've got 2 right-handed batters again, and it looks like, yeah, Freya's just going back around the wicket just to see how she gets on. So new batter on strike. So Silver's back on. So, oh, lovely ball by Kemp there. So she's really pushed out with her wrist across the right-handed batter. So it's going back pitched and moving away from the batter. And Jones has taken a good catch, not out, but really good attacking of the stumps there by Freya Kemp with her left arm. Oh, difficult chance. Nearly a wicket there. Nearly a wicket on point. Just trying to work out who it is. I think it might be Gibson. Oh, it was Danny. It was Danny at point, back point. It was a difficult chance. So Kemp's come and bowled it, and it was a late cut shot. It was low right hand side of Danny. I mean, she got her hand to it. It was a difficult chance, but we need to take them. And then Freya Kemp just bowled it a bit straighter and fuller, and Sri Lanka have just hit it up to mid off for a single. So a lot happening in that over. Some really good balls, some really poor balls, a really poor shot, a drop chance, and a lovely shot. so, so an interesting over to say the least. But England's obviously are on top. Sri Lanka, as I've said all the way through, just have to keep staying positive. They just need to keep their run rate as high as possible. It could come down to run rate. We know the weather in England is rubbish. and it could be that it's down to points, and if points are tied, it goes down to run rate as well as head to head. So they've just got to keep going, and it doesn't help that Eccleston is now on. So first ball by Sophie, attacking the stumps again, just a one. Um, England obviously just really keeping the pressure on, looking really relaxed in the field, which is good to see. But I mean, you've got 150 runs to defend off 10 overs against Sri Lanka. You're in a comfortable position. So we're just having a little bit of a change in the field. Heather Knight's just checking to make sure she's in the right place. And yes, she is. Sophie Eccleston back in. Little bit of flight there, so a little bit of above the eye line, just to make it drop a little bit in front of the batter. Batter's managed to drive it just for a one. So Sri Lanka's really got to just keep concentrating, on what Sophie's doing. Oh, that's just missed the stumps. I don't know how that's missed, but Sri Lanka are gonna get two for this. I think it's just bounced over the top of the stumps here. So Sophie's fired it in, hitting middle. Oh, the bat. The back of the bat. Yeah, the edge of the bat has managed to guide it past the stumps for a two. And then Sophie's fired another one in up to mid on, and it's just a single. So Sri Lanka are playing positive. They are trying to score runs. They, not holding back, but that was very lucky. Sophie back in, and has been hit to deep cover where Lindsay Smith is fielding currently, and Sri Lanka have just got the one. So yeah, so Lindsay Smith is at deep point at the minute, covering the offside past the inner ring. Last ball of the over, and she's attacked Sophie, gone over the top of the ring, but just short of a boundary, and that's been chasing it. And they've managed to get a two off that. So, like I said, Sri Lanka, they've probably missed out on a good 20, 30 runs here already because they've hit it really well, but it's either not reached the boundary or it's gone straight to a fielder. So there is definitely positives for them when it comes to their batting. I said in the preview that they've definitely improved, and I think if they would have had a bit more luck and a bit more skill, then those twos would have been fours, and that would have been a six. So there's definitely things there that are positive. It's just obviously trying to keep going and build a partnership. So England had a fantastic partnership at the beginning of the game with Jones and Danny, and then obviously Danny and Natsiva. Sri Lanka have not had that. So Gibson back on strike in terms of bowling, and she's just been blocked for a single. So yeah, so in terms of partnerships, Sri Lanka, especially the nations that are coming up, they have to have really good partnerships at the beginning of the game to have a chance. And good batting there by Sri Lanka. She's never going to get a 4 or a 6 off that ball, but she's managed to, what we call, do a drop and run. So she's managed to block the ball into a gap, and she's managed to get a partner and herself to run a single just to rotate the strike a little bit. And she's now on ball 3. So let's see how we get on with that. Danny Gibson. Oh, I think that was an opportunity. No, that's not out either. So there was 2 chances there. So I think Danny Gibson has tried to do a caught on bowl off her own ball, has dropped it, And then the ball has gone to another field, England fielder who's picked it up to throw it at the stumps, which has hit the stumps. And they're now asking if this is out. I don't think this is out. I think she's made a ground. But I'd love to see if Danny Gibson actually had this as an opportunity as a caught and bowled before the run out. Let's have. Oh no! I think her bat is off the floor. Oh, this is going to be out. Is this out? No. New rule. Oh, new rule. She had a bat in and then it bounced up off the floor, but she definitely had it in. I don't know why they needed to put it on the big screen that it wasn't out because we could all see that it's. Why have they got to put it on the board? Why have they got to put it on the board? There's a break in play because they've got to show it on the big screen, the decision. And they're still waiting. So the umpire signalled dead ball and everyone has to reset. So Danny Gibson is now waiting because I think they still have to wait for the board to actually show that it's not out, and everyone's ready to go. We've established it's not out. So everyone wants to get on with this. Right, now we're set. Fourth ball of the over. Comes in. Good defensive shot there. No run. 2 left of the over. Well, that was a bit dramatic. Not quite sure why they needed to wait. Yeah, so yeah, just touched the top of her finger that. So the caught and bowled attempt, it missed her hand. She managed to just get the top of her top finger on it. That's going to be sore. That's going to hurt. And yeah, so it's not out. Change of bails. Start again. 5th ball of the over. And she's attacked. Lovely shot there. So she's come down the pitch, attacked Danny Gibson, set her feet, and hit over the top of Danny Gibson for a 4. So that was a really well timed, premeditated shot. So she's already started coming down the pitch before Danny had actually released the ball. So she was really keen on trying to actually get closer to the ball. Last ball of the over, and it's been pulled towards cow corner. Lindsay Smith, great stop there. Flicked it to an England fielder, and that's a 2 rather than a 4. So that was great piece of fielding there by Lindsay Smith. So Sri Lanka are 84 for 5 off 11 overs. The target, remember, is 220. And Sri Lanka are just trying to sort themselves out in terms of pads, tying shoelaces. Obviously, in terms of Sri Lanka, they are behind in terms of where England were. When you look at the worm, because obviously England did accelerate to 10 and over. So, and then end up with a overrun rate of 11. Yeah, so Sri Lanka definitely just need to keep plugging away. Keep plugging away. Right. Charlie back on strike. And bowls it. And the batter just dabs it back to the bowler for no run. So Charlie's bowled extremely well today. Really positive at the stumps. And the batter has gone again, and it's bounced short of Capsy, who is at long on. So she stops it, and it's just one run there. Again, Sri Lanka, they keep hitting it over the top, which is great, but it's straight to the fielder. Third ball of the over. And Charlie Dean, oh, just short of Heather Knight. It just stopped. I thought it was going to reach her. I thought she did too. And they've gone for another run out, but she was clearly in. I don't even think why they need to review this, but it was a good shot over the top, but it just dropped short of Knight, and she's tried to protect her head, and then Caps has thrown it in, and yeah, she was well in, and her bat was well in as well. So the umpire is having to rearrange the stumps again. So Chaladine is going to bowl her fourth ball, 87 for 5, and she bowls in. And this is straight up in the air and just behind Charlie Dean. Oh, so unlucky. She tried her hardest to get back to try and catch that, but just too much on it for Charlie to be able to try and run and catch that. So it just dropped behind her. No opportunity for a catch there. 2 balls left in this over for Charlie. She bowls in. Batter comes right across and does a nice sweep. Good throwing by Freya Kemp, but not out. And Sri Lanka have just got a single. So Charlie Deed is on 2 for 17 off 2.5 overs, and this is her last ball of the over. She comes in. Just a little bit more towards leg stump, and Capsy picks it up and throws it in, and Sri Lanka get a single. So that is the end of the 12th over, and some good running between the wickets by Sri Lanka, but some definite missed opportunities to score some more boundaries. England are doing what they need to do, and like I said earlier, I really liked how the spinners are really targeting the stumps, making the batters make a decision, whether that's to defend or to attack them. And you could definitely tell England have done their homework in terms of where fielders need to be against certain batters, and have definitely cut off quite a lot of the 4s and 6s. So Freya Kemp back into the attack and going across, because she's got left hand, across the right-handed batter, and playing a miss by the batter, and that is no run, and that is well taken by Amy Jones, so she's had to concentrate on that. Second ball of the over. Bowled. It was on leg and middle, and oh, it could have been another catch there by Danny, and it's gone through her hands. And she knows it as well. That was far easier than the one she took earlier on. It was high. I think it was over the top of her shoulder, so it wasn't easy. And she's just slipped just through the palm, just section here in between. Should have been out. And this is out though. Oh, well done, Freya Kemp. So really good ball. Really made the batter have to play it, and she's heaved it on leg side, out directly straight to Lindsay Smith on the boundary. And that is a well deserved wicket for Freya Kemp. So the batter just flicked it rather than getting full face of the bat on it. And it just went straight to Lindsay Smith, who's on the boundary. Um, Obviously, Lindsay Smith's not going to drop that. She's a really good catcher. That's why she's out there. But just felt that Sri Lanka just threw away that wicket a little bit, and she was 19 off 15. So again, she was going really well, and actually scoring and just ticking things over. So we've now got a new batter in. Yeah, I know. So Sri Lanka, like I said, are still playing positive cricket, and they should still be playing positive cricket because they need to keep the run rate up, and they're trying to score boundaries, which is what they need to do. And they're not blocking like previously they would have had to have done because they've not had the batting depth. But the last few years, they've definitely improved in that area. And like I said earlier, there's some batters who have definitely, had a good start. Oh, and they've just, oh, I think this is out as well. I think they're going to check this. So Freya Kemp has just bowled, and I think they all just paused because I think they just wasn't sure whether this was a no ball or not. But I think the batter has just mistimed it, and she's just been bowled. Yeah, it was the wrong shot to play there. So she's tried to do more of a going around her body, and she was almost like better off just blocking it or even just doing a cut shot there. So a wicket. So she's got a duck. So no run. So that's what we call a duck. So off 2 balls. So it's not a golden duck because it's not first ball, second ball. And Sri Lanka are 92 for 7. So we've now got the new batter in to face the last ball from Freya Kemp's over. So, yeah. So she's coming in at 9. So, yeah. So Sri Lanka just need to just keep playing their shots and just stay positive. Oh, that's another wicket gone. That was a bit unlucky because it was going down leg stump. It was missing the stumps and it's hit the batter's pad and it's then ricocheted into the stumps. So Freya Kemp has got 3 wickets in 4 balls and has now ended up with 4 wickets for 13. Yeah, it was going well down leg stump. She's missed it. It's hit the pad and then it's ricocheted onto the stumps. And that is the end of the over. Sri Lanka are 92 for 8 after 13 overs. And that is a golden duck. First ball out. So, what advice would you give to the lower order batters coming out in this position? So, you want to stay positive. The game has definitely gone, but there's still 7 overs left. You don't normally get chance to bat at this level against this type of quality of players. So I would ask the batters to obviously try and score, but let's not get bowled out for less than 15 overs. Let's try and use as many balls as we can and try and stay in because it's going to be a fantastic experience for them. And to try and score against this caliber of player would be really good for them. So just trying to any bad balls. So the ball's just been played by Lindsay Smith. It's a bit wider. It's been cut, so on the offside for a single. And if the last few batters can just rotate the strike and get some boundaries, that's going to really give them confidence for the games when they play the likes of Ireland and, the other teams. So the Netherlands, sorry. So they've just literally be positive, um, and try and just not let a bad ball get you out. So I'm just watching Freya Kemp again's wickets. The last one that hit the pad into the stumps was unlucky. So Smith has just bowled it again, a bit more flight, and the batter is actually again tried to be positive and cut it away from the fielder for a single. So yeah, just blocking it is just there's no point in blocking for playing a T20 game. But they need to score runs. But just Lindsay Smith's just bowling in a little bit wider, and the batter stretched for it. And again, good stop on the boundary, and this is just going to be a 2. So, as I've said throughout the game, Sri Lanka have batted and attacked England, which is good. But unfortunately, they've either not had the strength to get it for a 4 or a 6 because it stopped short, or it's gone straight to the fielder. But those things can be fixed. So it's not that they're playing badly. So another good cut shot there to the boundary, deep cover. Danny's just picked it up to throw it in. And there is one more ball in the over. Smith's just conceded 7 off this last over. So Smith's come in and attacked the stumps again, and that is a dot ball. And at the end of that, it's 99 for 8. So, yeah, so Sri Lanka maybe stood on the boundary thinking this is all over, but these two batters can just get some experience and actually get some runs under the belt. It'll be fantastic for their confidence to take into those next games. And there's plenty of positives to take from this batting display, even though they've lost wickets at regular intervals. And their best batters actually got out quite early on in the power play. It's just making sure that those batters stay positive, and if they can create partnerships where they're scoring 40s and 50s together, then they've definitely got a chance to get some results at this World Cup. It's just obviously putting it all together, everyone playing well is why things are so difficult to win a World Cup. Australia have been so good over the years is because they've not just had 1, 2 players to rely on. All 11 players have played generally well at the same time. You might have the odd player that doesn't perform perfectly, but still got 9 or 10 players who do so well. So you've got to, at this level, have everyone being able to play well and then obviously take wickets or score runs at important parts of the game. So this game for England was won because of the partnership between Amy and Danny at the very beginning of the game. So really strong power play. Bit shorter in terms of what I'd expect. I thought they might have pushed on a bit more in terms of power play. But that sort of 6 to 14 over period where the run rate went up just gave them that platform for the last 6 overs to really attack Sri Lanka. And like I said, having that opening partnership is going to do wonders for Amy, and obviously just show that you can't at the minute drop Danny. Danny's the informed player. And then obviously Nat coming in and getting some really important runs under her belt, because she's only going to get better again by having time in the middle. So the fact is that she's managed to get so many runs at 3 will be really good for her confidence. So Freya Kemp is back into the attack on to her 3rd over, and we've had 14 overs, so this is the 15th. And generally, this is where you would accelerate, where you would try and attack a single bowler to try and get those 4s and 6s to increase that run rate. So Sri Lanka are going to find it very difficult because they've got the tail enders, so the batters at the lower end. Freya Kemp's on a hat trick. No, nearly a hat trick, but it wasn't meant to be. Oh, so she's bowled it fuller, almost a little bit 5th stump level. Batter's missed it. Keeper Amy Jones has managed to catch it, but no edge and no run. So back into the attack for Kemp. So good there by Freya Kemp. She's mixed up a little bit. She's actually pitched it more towards the batter's legs. And the batter's just preempted that Freya was going to go across the body. So actually, Freya's just watched the batter and made a play on to her legs and on that leg side. So yeah, good bowling there by Freya. So watching what the batter was doing sorry. So Freya is back into the attack. And that's going to be a wide by Freya. So she's bowled it again, trying to attack the legs, but the batter didn't move. And because it's so wide of the batter, then the umpires have to give it a wide. Amy Jones has whipped the bails off, thinking that it could be a run out, but it's not. So back in again. And this has been up. Oh, just over the top of Capsir and just landed safely. And that is not out. And Sri Lanka have managed to get to 102 for 8 off 14.3. Good running between the wickets there by Sri Lanka. But this was a shot over the top. It wasn't actually aimed for there. But it just ended up where Capsy was. So Freya back in. To the leg side. Again, good connection with the shot, but straight to Lindsay Smith, who's out at deep cover for a single. So Freya's got 2 balls left because of that wide. I'm wondering if she's going to go across the right-handed batter now rather than at her legs. Let's have a watch. So she's running in. Bowled, yep, onto 4th stump. The batter's just nice and gently dabbed it into the gap for a single. Exactly what I would have done. And now rotated the strike. So I think they might bring in the deep cover to be in the inner ring, but no, they've kept them out there. Last ball of the over. And that is well worked off the pads and just gone for a single. So Sri Lanka are 105 for 8 off 15 overs. And I would expect that Sophie or Danny Gibson to bowl the next over. But we shall see. So Sri Lanka just have to keep plugging away. Keep staying positive. And it's Eccleston. So Eccleston has no wickets for 17 off 2 overs. So she bowls it in and just an edge. And it is raced down for a 4. Oh, why didn't they put a slip in place? Oh, oh, that's so frustrating. I mean, it was a good late cut shot by the batter. So Sophie's really managed to get some revs on that. Really well timed by the batter, but oh, just needed a slip in place. So Sophie's back in again. More towards leg side, but straight to Lauren Bell. So there is no run. So they've missed out there some more runs because she would have timed that a little bit better. That would have been either side of Lauren Bell. Anyway, third ball of the over. Bowled in and well watched, and that has been hit up to mid on, and that is just a single. So England just trying to wrap up this game, and Sri Lanka are digging in, and good on them for digging in to try and score as many as they can. Oh, that is just beaten the bat. No edge though, and Amy Jones has tried to stump her, but her feet were in the crease, so not out. That just beat the bat. Good ball, Sophie. She just needs a few more of them because there's been some balls where they've just not been as controlled as usual. Oh, that she's making the batter get really muddled up there. She didn't know what to do with that and somehow managed to stop it from hitting the stumps. Oh, well done, Sophie. 3 good balls there. And that is what we're hoping as England fans Sophie keeps doing. Those last 3 balls were really good. Really attacking the stumps with different flight. So a little bit higher, a little bit flatter, and then really getting those revolutions on the ball to make the ball bounce and turn that little bit more, especially against the sort of tail enders who are just not used to dealing with such a good bowler. Um, she's been really unlucky there not to get a wicket. Do you think the squad is a little bowler heavy and that's what wins T20 matches? You'll generally find that the better teams will have different options for bowlers. So they'll generally have 4 out and out bowlers, sometimes just 3. Lauren Bell's just bowled and it's a dot ball. So in this instance, for England, Lauren Bell and Lindsay Smith and Sophie Eccleston are classed as their sort of 3 out and out bowlers, with Charlie Dean classed as an all rounder, Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson. And Bell's just bowled and it's just for a single. Normally, Nat Siver would be a strike bowler. So Nat would normally bowl 4 overs, but she's not. She's not, because she's only come back from injury. She's only going to bat this World Cup. I think if Nat had been bowling like she'd been bowling pre-injury, you could argue that they didn't need either Freya Kemp or Danny Gibson, and they could have had another specialist batter like Sophia Dunkley or a Tammy Beaumont or another type of batter in there. So I think circumstances have made this England team actually have a few more all-rounders. Caps is classed as an all-rounder, but I think she's just more of a batter for me personally. She does a little bit of off spin, but not much. But the teams like Australia India have 5 or even 6, sometimes even 7 options in terms of bowlers. Bell's just bowled and it's just for a single. So having a variety of bowlers really does help, because you might only need them to bowl 1 over, but that 1 over might be something completely different to what everyone else does. Um, and it's having that balance. And I think Charlotte Edwards has really struggled to find her best team from an England perspective. If we're looking at it from that perspective, Bell's just stopped and it's just gone for 1. To find that balance between batters and bowlers. Obviously, Nat being injured, Danny Wyatt not being available, Lauren Filer not really being fully fit has probably made that decision for her. But the other teams who don't have the same injuries and have had a settled team will have 5 or 6, sometimes 7 options. So, so it's the balance between batters and bowlers. You'll generally find a lot of T20s will have all-rounders and very limited out-and-out batters or out-and-out bowlers to be successful. But Lauren Bell is running in for her last ball of the over, and a little bit of a bouncer. And that is the end of the 17th over. I think she's bit her lip. She doesn't look too happy. And there's 3 overs to go. So there was a caught and bowl chance earlier, and Lauren Bell, it was a really difficult chance, but has not managed to grab hold of it, and her hands are probably stinging big time, especially as it is getting a lot colder at Edgbaston now. Everyone's putting on their jumpers and coats. And Lindsay Smith is bowling her last over. So if she's aiming at the stumps, I think there's going to be a wicket here. She bowls in. Good defence by the batter. Got ahead and feet to the ball really well and got a single. So in terms of trying to beat Lindsay Smith, if you can get your front foot to the ball and your head over the ball to drive her, that's where she is vulnerable. So really, really good tactic here by the Sri Lankans to be positive. Okay, really good decision making there by the Sri Lankan batter. She had a trigger to go forward and realised she actually needed to go onto the back foot. So she's looked like she's gone forward, realised she needed to go back and across, gave herself enough room to do a cut shot, and has ended up getting a 2 for that. So really positive play there by the Sri Lankan batters. Low, gone for 6. Good shot. Really well-timed shot. So this is the thing with Lindsay Smith. If you play positive, you can hit the spinners for 6, and this is a fantastic shot. So Lindsay Smith has just fired it in right in the slot, and that's gone for a 72-meter 6. Really well timed. Just watching this back. Yeah. So she got her foot really well set, her front foot and her back foot just still. And she watched the ball all the way and let her back come all the way through. And that was a really well timed 6 off a Lindsay Smith ball. So she actually went down the pitch to attack that. See what Lindsay does now. Yeah, Lindsay's gone a little bit fuller, so she's not been able to go over the top, and she's just driven it straight to Nat Silverbrunt, who is at mid off and no run. So 2 balls left. So Lindsay's just gone a little bit faster, a little bit flatter. Batter's sort of preempted what's going to happen, and she's frustrated with herself because there was an opportunity there for a 4. She just didn't time it very well, and it's just gone for a single. So, last ball of the over, and that has been cut away again on the back foot. Who Charlie Dean is on the boundary, and that is gone for 1 run. So 2 balls left of the game. Sri Lanka 125 for 8. And Freya Kemp has been given the ball to do her last over. Looks like the bananas are a hit in the Edgbaston crowd. So Freya Kemp is on 4 wickets for 19 off 3 overs. She runs back in again. And she's aimed for the stumps. Oh, lovely little cheeky flick there, paddle shot. And Lauren Bell has managed to stop it for a 4 and has just gone for a 2. That was a good shot. Unlucky not to get a 4 either. I would say that was better than Nats. I actually preferred that, but Nats went for a 4. It was just so elegant. She just got straight on, her feet parallel to the batter, bat nice and flat, and just flicks it over her shoulder. And she just swept that out there just for a single. Lindsay Smith doing a good job on the boundary, keeping it nice and tight. So Freya Kemp has got 4 balls left of the over. Oh, batter's not ready. Freya Kemp's getting a bit annoyed. Trying back here, run back in again. And that was bowled really well, Freya Kemp. So she was getting annoyed that the batter looked like she was ready and then stepped away and then reset herself and bowled a really good straight ball to keep that as a dot ball. So 4th ball of the over. Again, nice and straight and full. And that has been blocked for a dot ball. And she's done really well, Freya Kemp, tonight. Even though every ball hasn't been perfect, she's just been really positive, really attacking the stumps, especially to the right-handers. Okay, so she's bowled it across the right-handed batter, a little bit wider to tempt the batter. Batters took a swing, had a miss, and a good take by Amy Jones to just make sure it is not gone to any runs, so no run. Last ball of this over. And that's just been flicked off the pad down to Lindsay Smith for a single. So we are now down to the last over. Sri Lanka 127 for 8 off 19 overs. And last over is going to go to probably Lauren Bell. So some really good performances here by England, and Freya Kemp being clapped to the boundary, rightly so, by the Edgbaston crowd. Some really good, strong performance there by Freya Kemp with the ball. So, Eccleston's been given the last over, but Eccleston's been hit for 4 in her first ball of the last over. And she's just gonna go and she's just gonna target Sophie now because she's got nothing to lose. Good use of the feet. The ball was going down leg side, leg stump. But really good adjustment there by the batter to flick it into the gap past the batter at field at cow corner. And straight to the fielder. Caught by Capsy on the boundary, and she has gone. Well, well batted that, Neil Kelshire, because you got 37 off 32, and out of all the batters for Sri Lanka, you have been the one who have been the most proactive, the one who has been pushing for twos rather than just ones. And you've done yourself really proud there because you've batted extremely well and just tiredness, I think, in terms of not being able to get it past Capsy with 4 balls to go. So absolutely fantastic batting that. Really well done. So Sri Lanka are now 131 for 9. Last ball, last 4 balls of the over, if we get to that. So she's just taken her guard. So Eccleston with a wicket, 1 for 26. She comes in and bowls. And it's been hit straight to the fielder at point for no run. So 4th ball, bowled. Ooh, little bit of movement away, little bit of spin. Yeah, good Sophie. So a little bit of variation there to help get the batter out. Next ball. And that's just been driven just to extra cover just for a single. Lindsay Smith again doing a good job on the boundary. So 1 ball left of this game. Sophie bowls. Oh, I think that is not out. As Amy Jones is going to be asking if this is out or not. Yes, they're going to go up. I think Amy Jones thinks this hasn't been edged and this is out. So they're going to review this to see on the last ball whether there was an edge or not. From Amy's reaction, I think this is out. So we're just going to have a look. Yeah, I think that's touch, but we can't tell without Ultra Edge. So Ultra Edge is now coming up. The ball is now heading towards the bat. And yep, definite spike when the ball reaches the bat. So to me, that is going to be out. Yep, and that has now been given out. And Sophie has got her 2nd wicket, 2 for 27. And that is the last ball of the game. So Sri Lanka have been bowled out for 132. So to recap, England, great batting performance. So Amy Jones and Danny Wyatt set the platform for the win. England have won by 87 runs, but there's some definite positives for both England and Sri Lanka. So positives for England, great opening partnership between Amy Jones and Danny Wyatt Hodge, really set the tone, really manipulated the field, really ran hard, and really communicated well together as a partnership. As soon as Amy Jones was out, Nat Siver came in and carried on that momentum. Bearing in mind, Nat's been out for such a long time and only had 2 warm-up games to come in and perform, especially as captain, especially with the expectation. Hats off to you, Nat, because that was a great performance from you from with the bat and as a captain tonight. I think you set the field well, you picked your bowlers well, and I think you've really helped England lay down a marker. Was it a perfect performance? No, there were some drop catches. I think there were some wide balls and strays that, against some of maybe the stronger teams would have got punished. But in terms of a starting point for England, we wanted a performance. We got a performance. So well done to England. Sri Lanka, um, there were some really good positive parts. So in terms of the bowling and the fielding, they had opportunities to actually take wickets. So Amy Jones got dropped twice. I think if they would have taken those chances, that would have changed the game and put more pressure on England. Nat Siva got dropped as well. Again, when you're playing against the stronger nations, you do have to take any chance that you get because it puts a little bit of pressure back on the stronger nation, and they're the ones who then have to react. So if you get your chance, you have to take it. So with Sri Lanka with their bowling, I just don't feel that they really analysed the England batters and their what they like and what they don't like. Amy Jones scores the majority of her runs on leg side, and they didn't cover that enough in terms of fielders. And then when Danny was on strike, deep extra cover, they just weren't in place, and Danny just kept scoring fours in that space to build that momentum. So Sri Lanka didn't help themselves, and they gave away quite a lot of extras in terms of that. So then, obviously, when they were chasing, it just made it a really big total for them. It's not a real bowling pitch, Edgbaston. It's been a really good batting pitch. But Sri Lanka, you were really positive with the bat. It's just a shame, one, you couldn't get a partnership in the power play like England did. You lost three of your best batters in that first 6 overs. And when you're playing, your top level teams, you've got to have your best players in for as long as possible to give you any chance. If you're playing the likes of maybe Netherlands, you've got more of a chance, but you still need to build that partnership. Two, you know, it wasn't reaching the boundary. There was quite a few shots. I was going to say maybe even 6 or 7 that just dropped short of a boundary. So instead of getting 4s and 6s, you're only getting 2s. So that's definitely something to carry on working on in terms of power hitting. And then some of the shots, really good striking, like really full face of the bat, really well timed, just straight to the fielder. So Danny Wyatt and Lindsay Smith and Charlie Dean at one point on the boundary were having to work really hard to stop the 4s. But a lot of them were straight at them. I just think if you just had a bit more 5-10 yards either side of them, you could have scored at least another, I would say, 30 to 40 runs that way. So some real positives, and the running between the wickets for Sri Lanka was really good. So some really positives to take for the next actual game, both for England and Sri Lanka. So really good performance by England, well deserved, and Sri Lanka something to build on, ready for their next match. So thank you. If you're watching this back, obviously we'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings, and we will be doing a watch along in the future. I will be at Emirates Old Trafford tomorrow for Ireland versus Scotland, and then Australia versus South Africa. And I will try my best to not pull a face when Australia play. But they are one of the strongest teams in the tournaments, and I'm sure they will try and put on a performance against a very strong South Africa. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye now.